All right, this is the 7-6 homework sheet that is posted on Edmodo. You're responsible for doing the odds as always, but I wanted to talk about, we've talked through all these types of problems in previous videos, except for these. So I wanted to talk about solving exponential equations. So I'm going to do numbers 20 and 22, and you'll be responsible for 19 and 21. So we are going to go ahead and do number 20. So the very first thing I need to do when looking at this to solve this equation is I need to get the exponential part by itself. So since I'm multiplying by something here, I need to divide to get rid of that. So I'm going to divide both sides by 10 here. So I get 3 to the x equals 10. So just like when we were doing linear equations, if I want to get rid of multiplication, I divide. If I want to get rid of addition, I subtract. It's the same tools that we've been doing all along. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And that should not be 10. That should be a 9, shouldn't it? 3 to the x equals 9. And then, so once I've gotten to this point, then I'm thinking, okay, 3 to the what equals 9, because I want to figure out what x is, right? So I'm thinking 3 to the what equals 9, or I could think, so I could rewrite 9, right, as 3 squared. 9 is 3 squared. So 3 to the x equals 3 squared. Or I could think of it as 3 to the what equals 9. Well, 3 squared equals 9. So x has to equal 2, right? Either way of thinking about it works. 3 to the what equals 9, or changing 9 to 3 squared and then seeing that the exponents need to be equal. Either way, we know that 3 squared equals 9, so 3 to the x must equal 3 squared, so x has to equal 2. So that's going to be our strategy with these, is figuring out, okay, what 3 to what power, or whatever base we have, to what power is going to give me the number on this side. So let's do another example of that. Let's do number 22. So here I have something being added to my exponential, so I need to subtract to get rid of that. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. I'm going to subtract 6. So I get 4 to the x equals 64, because 70 minus 6 is 64. And then I'm going to say, okay, 4 to what power equals 64? And if I don't know off the top of my head, I can check with a calculator, or I can check with my fingers. I can say, okay, 4 times 4 is 8, times 4 is 64. So to do, no, it's not. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 4, sorry, that didn't make any sense, did it? 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So I've multiplied 4 3 times. So 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. So 64 is 4 to the third. So x equals 3. So for 22, x equals 3. So you could just put in your calculator, you could just try things, 4 to the third, 4 to the fourth, whatever, until you get one that matches. I don't necessarily expect you to know anything above squares off the top of your head. It's good to know your cubes, and for Algebra 2, I will want you to know your cubes, but you don't need to know those off the top of your head. It's okay with me if you use a calculator to figure that out. Okay, So this has been 7-6. Let me know if you have any questions.